So guys, this is a funny article by The Sun. It starts off with "has had it," and that's in reference to Prince Harry. And there are allegations and claims that Harry has pretty much torpedoed any hope of returning to his beloved military duties with the Trump swipe that violated the Brexit deal. So Prince Harry has pretty much put his foot in it, and it seems as though everyone believes that he will never ever be able to return to the British royal family, which I don't think he wants to return to anyway. I think that he wants to be stripped of his formal HRH and the Duke of Sussex title in a bid to play the victim and look like he has been victimized all along. Like I said, that video of them on that broken down park bench in that section of their garden in LA was absolutely ridiculous. Meghan Markle looked extremely underweight and she looked very calculated, and they both looked weathered, to be honest. They looked like they'd been up all night. Like I said in a previous video, they looked like they were completely out of sync, possibly like they're not getting on at this point in time. And Harry looked riddled with guilt. There were so many things that came through on that video. I don't know how to pinpoint which one exactly was the main emotion, but it was all negative anyway. So this article was by The Sun, which is a UK publication that Meghan is suing, I believe, along with the Mail Online. And they go on to say, royal aides say that by publicly discussing the upcoming election and making an apparent swipe at Donald Trump, Harry 36 has violated the Brexit deal, which is no surprise there. We know that that's exactly what, and he would have known that he was violating the Brexit deal because royals traditionally never ever speak out on political affairs. They just don't do that, and it's one of the most basic cardinal rules that Harry has now broken. So the article carries on. As part of the agreement when they left royal duties, Harry stepped down from his beloved military roles. The Queen agreed to keep positions open in the review period so he could perhaps return in the future, but aides say speaking out on the US election could have destroyed this possibility. One told The Times, "The door was left open. There were some things that Harry hoped he could opt back into. He clearly wants to hang on to the Royal Marines and the military appointments. That will be harder now. The Sussex's arrangements are set to be reviewed after a year." In a video clip broadcast as part of the Time 100, the magazine's annual list of the world's 100 most influential people, Meghan said, "Every 4 years we are told the same thing, that this is the most important election of our lifetime, but this one is." And Harry said, "As we approach this November, it's vital that we reject hate speech, misinformation, and online negativity." Now, I personally do believe that those comments were for the online community that does not like them. We know that every time the Daily Mail writes up something about them, they receive a lot of hate in the comments. I've seen it myself. Their Instagram page was filled with hate. It was filled with absolute disgust because people feel as though they are entitled leeches. They are spoilt brats. And that's the theme tune when you look for anything regarding Meghan and Harry online. That seems to be the same page that everyone is reading from. And I think that also he was making reference to the YouTubers, bloggers, journalists, people like Piers Morgan, and a lot of other characters who just simply do not like them and insult them online. Well, I can't say insult them, but, you know, don't exactly say the most favourable things about them online. So he wanted to take a swipe, and what an inappropriate way to take a swipe at online figures and online communities when you're giving a speech for the Times 100 and you're not even on the list, or which I found quite baffling and funny at the same time. they're sitting there preaching like they are so important and they are so relevant, and they didn't even make the Times 100 list. They haven't been nominated for anything, and yet they are telling people who to vote for and telling people what they should and shouldn't be doing online. Do they control the internet? Are they really that relevant? Are they even rich enough to control the internet? So they don't have the money and they don't have the power or the influence to tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing online, really. So that's rather embarrassing for them. So I'm going to carry on with this article. When the bad outweighs the good, for many, whether we realize it or not, it erodes our ability to have compassion and our ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. Because when one person buys into negativity online, the effects are felt exponentially, yet only by you guys, because the negativity online is generally about all of the things that you're doing that is upsetting and hurtful to the British public, who were financing your fancy lifestyle for a year and 6 months at least. It was 18 months, wasn't it? It's only just now they actually poured in some change from Netflix, which is still not enough because we know that it's a 5-year contract and they haven't received that money up front. So they still have to work for their financial independence. They're not fully financially free from the burden of the British taxpayer having to pay for them. A royal aide said the clip had broken the couple's promise to continue upholding the Queen's values despite stepping down as senior royals, adding, "The royal family are all wringing their hands thinking, where is this going, and does this abide by the deal to uphold the values of the Queen? The feeling is it's a violation of the agreement. Despite claims that this was an attempt to get their fans to vote Donald Trump out of office, a source close to Harry insisted the Duke was not referring to Mr. Trump nor any other individual." I think he was more concerned with conveying that the online criticism that he and Meghan receive on a daily basis is very irritating and he wants it to stop. But as I said, what power do they really have to end that? A spokesman for the Sussexes said, "The Duke's message is not in reference to any specific political party or candidate, but is instead a call for decency in how we engage with each other. The Queen is the only member of the royal family not allowed to vote, and the expectation is that other royals remain apolitical and never participate in elections. Meghan, an American citizen, has said she will be voting." Buckingham Palace said only that Harry's remarks were made in a personal capacity, but the Times reports courtiers met to discuss distance in the royal household from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex following the call to arms. One angry Twitter user said, "Hey Prince Harry, you have no right to interfere in our election. If you want to make a statement, give up your British citizenship, become an American." And that's true. He's still a British citizen, which is quite hilarious that he's bounced over to America, been there for 5 minutes. Meghan, yeah, she's an American citizen, but she hasn't been there in 10 years. Don't you think that they should take their time to acclimatise? But no, it seems as though straight after lockdown, they are grabbing at every opportunity to make the headlines out in the USA, and no one is falling for it. No one's interested. No one is having it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go, and that's my thoughts and feelings on that. I'll be back for another video. Bye, guys.